What's up, guys? We are live for our very first live training. It's Wednesday night, um, day two, day one, day two. I'm trying to put my tripod up. I don't know why I didn't do this before I jumped on the camera, but apparently I'm not smart in preparation for this. So today's live training is going to be about mental training. So here's why I chose this option. In my opinion, while you have a lot of extra time on your hands, let me get some light out of here. While you have a lot of extra time on your hands, you can do a lot of this mental training. So there's a couple different kinds of trainings that we can do. Training number one for mental training is going to be, okay, let me talk to you about different tiers. Especially during this kind of time where things are a little bit uncertain, everybody's a little panicked, a little bit of extra adrenaline's going on right now with everybody. All of our brains are kind of like, what's happening? What's going on? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, how's this gonna end? First off, take a breath, relax, chill. We're all good. We're gonna survive this. Here's the thing that we can start working on while we have some time, and because we're not in the gym training. So when you're training Krav and you're fighting and someone's attacking you and you're doing your choke defenses and you're pretending to do your follow-throughs, your brain is mentally organizing all that in your subconscious and is helping you retain the information. It's helping you realize that when this actually happens, you've already done it before, so it becomes muscle memory. Like, all this stuff is happening that we don't even know that's happening. Now, when you're not training, you don't get that same effect, right? So what we could do is, while we're not training, we can do mental training. This is mental in your brain. Here's the thing. There's a couple different ways we can do this. There's the meditation side of things, whether you're spiritual or woo-woo or whatever you want to do. I'm not talking about that side. I'm talking about being able to clear your mind and have a solid critical thinking mind. So a lot of times when you do meditation drills, you can you become a better thinker. Like, when stuff happens, you can really narrow down all the voices in your head telling you to do all these different things, and you can start to really focus better. But we're not going to talk about that right now. Maybe that's a little bit later. Today, we're talking about mental training for mental preparedness. So what we're doing is we're doing muscle memory for your brain rather than just your body. So this is a really great drill that you can do while at home. So right now, this is where I read every morning. It's my reading room, and one thing you can do for this type of training is, while you're at home, use your house as your environment. So a lot of times I tell people, hey, do this training while you are at a coffee shop, or while you're doing at the doctor's office, and pretend someone's breaking in and you have to fight them. So a lot of times I tell people to do training while out in the wild. But today, I'm going to recommend, during this couple of weeks of quarantine of time, that we can do mental training at home of situations that can happen. Now, you can't go too far with this. What I mean is, you can't be paranoid because we're doing this mental training and all of a sudden you're like, we're going to get attacked every day. What I mean is, utilize this training to help you fortify your own home. And hopefully you never need to use it. Hopefully this is going to blow over. There's not going to be a lot of chaos happening. But just in case, this is a good time to do that. So here's how you do the drill. You pick a scenario, and it can be any scenario that you're scared of. I like to pick worst case scenarios for myself. Scenarios that wake me up at night when I'm thinking about it and that scare me. So for example, for me personally, I always, for some reason, I'm always assuming while I'm sleeping, someone's gonna break in and be above my bed and start stabbing me. I'll be in the bed and the covers will be on me and I can't get out of the covers because they're stuck on me. So that's always something, for some reason, it's always in my brain. I don't know why. Maybe because I saw it in a movie when I was a kid or something. So let's say, pick the scenario for you. Maybe you're on your couch. Maybe you're reading. Maybe you're on your computer at your desk. So whatever you are. Then imagine something bad really happening. So someone breaking in and trying to hurt you and your family and stuff. So for example, let's say for me, I'm gonna use my bed situation. So I'll run through a real live example with you. So step one is to imagine very worst case scenario, like you're dead. They break in, they stab you, you kill everybody, you're dead. Then you slowly, incrementally get a better result. So then you imagine the whole situation again where you don't die. And then maybe you just got really hurt. And then you imagine the whole situation again where you don't get very hurt. Then you imagine the whole situation again where you absolutely win without getting hurt. Then you imagine the whole situation again where you prevent it and all that stuff. So that's the stages that you go through to do this mental drill. And it takes about 5 minutes to do maybe. And so I'll kind of walk through it right now. So let's say, for example, I'm gonna pick my example of being in bed, someone breaks in the house, I don't even know they're there, they start stabbing me, and I can't do anything about it, and my girlfriend, like everybody's dying and the dogs are dying, like it's crazy, right? So they break in, I'm sleeping, or at least I'm in bed, and now the person has a knife and they're stabbing me. I wake up after that first stab, I'm panicked. I see there's a shadow. I don't really know what's happening right now. You probably won't feel a lot of pain because of the adrenaline and you don't know what's happening. But that's happening. I wake up, I see it, I don't know what to do. I struggle, I panic, I freeze, and then I die. That's number one, which is really shitty. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, I died, worst case scenario. Second worst case scenario. Okay, let's say I'm sleeping, I wake up from the first stab. I see the stab because I know I'm ready. My hands go up. I block the second stab from happening. Instead of trying to get out of the bed, I roll my feet over. I kick the guy, and then as I kick him, his stab hits me one more time in the stomach, and I'm really freaking hurt. And he runs away. And then I go to the hospital, and then I die. That's shit. That's two really bad worst case scenarios. But at least I fought this time. Okay. Now let's go to another tier. Let's say I'm not gonna die this time. Let's say he comes in, he stabs me, I grab him, I kick him. I don't get stabbed the second time. He hits down, he runs away out the door. I try to chase him, but I'm too hurt. I go to the hospital, I live. So that's a better outcome. Okay, number 4, I think we're at. So let's say he breaks into the house, he comes up, he's about to stab me. I hear him, and when he comes to stab, I block him, and so I block him like this because he's stabbing downward, and the knife stabs me a little bit, but I don't get that big blow like in the chest or the stomach. As I do that, I'm struggling. I switch hands. I hit him in the groin. I roll over. I kick him a few times. He stumbles. He gets up. He runs away. Okay, that's better. Now, situation 5, I think I'm at. He comes in, starts to stab. I block the first stab. I don't get stabbed. I immediately roll over. I hit him in the groin. I kick him. I disarm him. He's on the ground. I'm getting ready to go after him, and he runs away, and call the cops, and everybody's fine. Even better, he comes in. I hear him opening the door to the bedroom. My dogs make a noise. They see him. They growl, and I see him. I get out. I get up really quickly, and I just by advancing him, he runs away. Awesome. Okay, let's say the dogs hear a window being broken into. They get up, they bark, he goes away. So you start seeing like the whole thing here. Now it's kind of weird. Like it's really when you really think about it, like you're imagining yourself dying. But the point is this: if you can imagine all the scenarios, you can start to get muscle memory of what you should be doing during these scenarios because it's happened. Now, pray that this never happens to you, obviously. But if something like it did happen, your brain has already ran through all the possible outcomes that can happen. Now, imagine doing this drill 20 times over, 5 months, 3 months, once a week maybe, and you have all these different kinds of scenarios that you've already worked through. Worst case, okay case, best case scenario. By the way, that noise is my cat in the kitty litter box. That is how, when we're live at home, what will be happening during this time. I can't even talk to you right now because I'm distracted with her bearing her pee, right? That's all I can. Are you done? She is not. She is not done. So, where am I at? I forget. So basically, the point is that we're kind of building our muscle memory with all these different things that could possibly happen and how to protect ourselves from them. So when they happen, we're better off. It's the same thing for training. When you go to train and someone chokes, let's say someone punches you. We'll do the punching, it's more realistic. So you're training and your partner's coming in, pop, they're punching you. And you defend the punch, you counterattack, you throw through strikes, you kick them, you back away, you disengage your skin. Okay. That is a great technique. Good job training it. Awesome. You did great. But what's really happening right now? I mean, a lot of people would say, well, I'm training. I'm moving my arm. I'm getting muscle memory here. I'm trying to figure out how to do these things. Like, yeah, absolutely. That's what training in person does. But what's really happening, even at a deeper level, is that your brain is analyzing someone punching you. you're actually like without even knowing it, you're looking at their eyes, their mechanics, the way they flinch, the way they lean into it. You're looking at their hand coming up. Your brain is analyzing and capturing all of that data. And what's really cool is that when the punch happens, your brain is analyzing what you're doing to get out of the way of the punch and to defend and counter. Then once you counterattack, your brain is analyzing, okay, well, here's all the distances I'm at. Here's what weapons should be the best. Here's how you do your follow throughs. Here's how you push away, disengage, and scan, make sure no one else is around you. Your brain is going through all this stuff, and it's putting it away in storage. So when this actually happens, when someone comes up to you and they punch you, your brain will activate quicker because you've done it. You've been through this hundreds of times because you've been training for a few months or months at a time or years because you have been training so much, you've been punched so many times that it's not even like a new thing for you. And that is what training does. And without you knowing it, that's what your brain is doing. Your brain is mentally training all of these things every time. So we can utilize that same exact thing at home. There's a cool study that was done. It was by a college. I forgot what college it was. But they took 2 groups of 10 basketball players. And they wanted to improve their free throw shots. So what they did is they gave basketball group number 1, I think it was 10 hours, if I remember. If my numbers are off, it's okay. The point is going to be the same. I think it was 10 hours of practice. So 1 hour a day, they would practice their free throws and get those shots, get better at it, get more, correct. Yeah, everything's just honed in. They'd take the other 10 group, they'd take them and they'd put them in a classroom. And they'd have them sit down and think about making shots. So they'd have to picture in their head, just over and over again, making a shot, put it up, making a shot, putting up, making the shot. And they just did that over and over. They visualized themselves making the shot. Their brain was just branding it in their head. But the other team was branding it in their head by doing it, and their body was going. So after the studies were done, they did a test. They took them all out. They went to go do their free throw shots, and they measured it. And I'm pretty sure you're going to know what I'm going to say because it's going to back my point up. But the people who did better, I think by 50% better, were the people who didn't even practice shooting. They just did it in their head. So what that tells us is that your brain can get muscle memory the same way that your body can. Now, I personally think the reason why that study works so well is because when they practice in real life, they missed a lot too. And so they weren't actually getting, so like with the people that were imagining it, let's say you imagine it 100 times, 100 shots made, but then when you practice in real life, they only got 50% of those made. So this group had more success. You know what I'm saying? So the point is that on this meditation drill, on this mindset training, try not to only think about yourself dying, of course. You do that once or twice because you need the worst case scenario to happen so you can kind of like feel it. Then you have to start winning and do a lot more of the winning ones. And that's going to really help you get into it. Start doing one. Start them tonight if you can. I know this is the first day where we don't have class, and it kind of sucks. Like, it's weird not going into the gym right now, talking to everybody and doing these trainings. But it doesn't mean we can't start this now. Okay, so my challenge to you is to at least once a week in the beginning, try to do more. So maybe tonight for about 5 minutes, sit down and just close your eyes if you want to and just meditate on this stuff. Like, think about worst case scenario happening, especially during these times when, honestly, right now I feel like we're pretty good. Like, I don't see, there's not rioting happening that I'm aware of. There's not a lot of violence happening that I'm aware of. I live next to a lot of sirens and I could hear them, and they're not more than there usually is. So I'm actually quite impressed with the reaction of the public. I'm not impressed with the lines at the stores and the hoarding and people fighting over toilet paper. Like, that's not impressive to me. I'm quite ashamed of that, of humanity in that sense. But at the same time, like, I don't feel like I'm more in danger right now, which was shocking because I kind of assumed when they locked us down yesterday and said to basically stop going out, I kind of assumed there would be a little bit more of that feeling of like, okay, what's going on? But maybe there is in some other places. It may get worse. You never know. The government can shut us all down, and that could cause panic. As long as people still get food for their families, we should be okay. Because the panic's gonna happen when, think about it, when you're at home, you can't feed your kids, you're gonna go and have to rob somebody to get their food. But according to the latest stuff, the stores are staying open. The supply chain's doing great. Like we were out of food. Are you still there? Okay, I can't tell if you're still there. I'm gonna keep going. So what I'm trying to say is, I think we're actually going up in our systems. I think everything's starting to get better. We may get a little bit worse as far as being stuck at home for longer or quarantine or all that stuff. That may all happen. But as long as our mindset's good, our attitude is good, we're looking to make the best of the situation as best as we can. Like for us, for example, my business, the Cropping XC business, is a brick and mortar business. And so that sucks to be closed down. It really hurts brick and mortar businesses. I went to get lunch today across the Indian food restaurant, and they're just doing takeout. And I know them personally. I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, honestly, you're their first customer. I was like, fuck, like, we need people to continue supporting local business, because if this goes longer than 2 weeks, there's gonna be a lot of businesses shut down. So if you can, whenever you can, try. If you have a local shop, a local restaurant that you really like, and if they're doing their delivery or takeout stuff, you should make it a point, if you can afford it, to do it, because they need it to keep them going. Like we have a favorite sushi restaurant down in Tustin, and I'm like wondering, like, how do we get some cash together to go buy some food from them? Because I don't want them to be gone in a month from now or 2 months from now, because I want to keep going there. I always go there. Same thing with this Indian food. So try to make sure you're always supporting all the local businesses that you can. The government is trying to help in different ways. Sadly, a lot of those ways aren't really going to help. At the end of the day, rent is still due, bills are still owed. I know a few businesses that actually went out of business recently, and that sucks. But I don't think that's going to be our case. We have you guys. We have this big community. We have an awesome program. We have, like, everybody here is just so cool. I think these online trainings are going to help a lot, especially since we're all kind of just sitting at home. I've been busy as hell putting this stuff together, so I haven't felt the boredom yet. But I'm assuming there's going to be some times where we're like, okay, what do I do today? So by doing these online trainings and giving you little challenges to do at home, I think that's going to help. It helps me too, by the way, because sometimes I get in the mode of like doing these. I do this mental training a lot, and sometimes I forget. So by telling you to do them, I'm also now doing them, and it's great. So I'm actually planning on putting it into my morning routine, a little like 2-minute quick version, because I'm always trying to fortify my house too. Like, okay, well, that window, I have a lot of windows. You can't see it, but I have window. So I'm like, okay, someone could break in at any time. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, there's no like wall, it's all windows. But so doing those drills are going to help. The book club's going to help. I love reading. I think it's going to be awesome. I already picked the book for us. I've been trying to find a way to download it so I can give it to you guys for free. I'm still working on that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to just send out a link to buy the ebook, or get the regular book shipped to you, or get an audiobook of it. And that way we can have something to do. We can read and educate ourselves and learn new stuff. But yeah, I'm excited, guys. It's been about 20 minutes. I don't want to drag on these lessons to make them an hour so that way you're bored, but I also don't want to shortchange you. So I'm trying to give you as much as I can that I think is going to be helpful, and then from there we'll sign off. If you have questions, please ask them. We want this community to thrive online. It would be boring if no one responded or liked or commented or shared or posted questions or put funny memes inside the group. It would be a really boring group. So for my sake, to keep me entertained, please communicate in the group, text or message everybody, have fun in there. We're gonna start launching the fitness program in the next day or two with Coach Drew. He's gonna run those. I'm excited because I haven't worked out in about 3 days now because of this stuff, and I can already feel it. Like, I can feel like I'm out of shape already, just doing stupid stuff. I'm like, ooh, I'm tired already. Like, I'm tired right now just standing up this long. So if we all work out every day, together. We all do these mental trainings together. We all watch and review the videos together. We all read stuff together. We're gonna be really a lot better at the end of the day, and it's pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I've been rambling on now. I can do that, I've been told. And so from there, I'm not sure what else to say, but you guys have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. Everything's gonna be okay. Just keep positive, and you will be okay.